Welcome to this video. So it's about the ancestral markers which matter most uh, to indicate, to point out the ancestral, uh, the ancestors of all modern humans. They point to the Amazon forest and some point to the Americas, which obviously the Amazon forest is part of. We seem to be afraid to look to the Americas to find our ancestor, even while science points to the Americas, to the Amazon forest over and over and over, and we always neglect it. We should not fear, because it's obvious that the solution for all uh, our challenges of us 8 billion modern humans, the solution lies in our ancestors and in the Amazon forests. Uh, so we should not be afraid. We should be afraid to not look at our ancestors here. Nevertheless, even with all ancestral markers and haplogroups pointing to the Americas, consensus still tells us that uh, our ancestors lie in Sub Saharan Africa, and uh, what we see, these are the dominant haplogroups. It's like a mosaic. It's an enormous mosaic, except for the Americas, because it's Q, 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 and it's also C, but C is a descendant of Q. That will be part of our videos as well. So what we will claim that one of the first expansions of the Americas is through what is known as the Austronesian expansion. So we said C is a descendant of Q. There's evidence for that. The same for R is a descendant of Q. There's evidence of it. In the ancestral markers in the haplogroups. But C is a descendant, and let's say gets all over the world after Q. Well, this is Q, and you see that in the former video we saw that Sand people, haplogroup A, the supposed ancestors of all humans, are only with 50,000, and we claimed that they are hybrids not similar enough to all 8 billion modern humans. And it just not doesn't make sense that the ones that will spread to all the world, that they are marginally present in Africa with 50,000. It doesn't make sense. While you see that if you consider the Amazon and haplogroup Q as the ancestors, then you see they are dominant in the Americas and even present uh, in relatively high frequencies in Eurasia and even in Europe. But that is demonstrated in the former video. In lower frequency, that's why we don't see them in this map, haplogroup frequency map. So anyhow, this is characteristic for an ancestor, and what we see that's in another map of A presence, haplogroup A presence, is not characteristic for the ancestor of all 8 billion humans. So what we show here is that it spread all over the world. Haplogroup Q, the Amazon Amaranth haplogroup descendants spread all over the world. So what we've seen is that Q behaves as an ancestor, and A, with only 50,000 sand people, do not behave as an ancestor. And besides, this mosaic is not how it should look like if there had been an out of Africa. Whatever the root is, it's also always a mosaic. It should be homogeneous, and it isn't at all. It's different when you consider the Amazon and the Americans as the ancestors. It's very homogeneous, and it reaches far into the world, and it's still dominant in the world. So Q is the ancestor. In fact, QM3 is the ancestor. Even consensus recognizes that it's a different group, and it started in South America or even in the Amazon forest, and you see it's Q. You see again QM3. You'll see it here. South Amerindian. Q3, it's called here. It's, as far as I know, it's QM3. So very homogeneous. C is a descendant. C is a descendant. And R is a descendant. You'll see that in other videos. It spread more like this to Europe. And it's also homogeneous, at least for Europe and Western Eurasia. While out of Africa, there is no homogeneity. There's not much homogeneity. So important is that we claim that the solution is here. Why is it here? Intuitively, because to spread to all the world and to all 8 billion modern humans, you have to have a capacity to expand. You have to thrive to expand. So there was an enormous thriving in the Amazon forest, but also in the Americas before they spread over the world. It's interesting, or even important, to know that most of this expansion of R, of modern Europeans and modern Western Eurasians, is only 5,000 years ago. Only 5,000 years ago.